I help you? Wanna lay down and be part of the video? Why don't you lay down? Good girl. You get to see her little tail. Okay, we got a kitten in our lap today. This kitty cat is really eyeing these ornaments. That's your tail. That's you. Yeah, look at this. Look at her hold on to her tail. She chases it. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am back at it with another Christmas video. Today's video is actually in collaboration with some Disney YouTubers. A bunch of us got together and decided to do some tutorials for some DIY holiday ornaments inspired by Disney film characters and Disney films, of course. I'm really excited. I love making ornaments every year. This is probably my first, but maybe my second ornament tutorial of the season this year on my channel. I'm not sure which one's getting posted first, but there's definitely going to be at least 2, maybe 3 over the course of December. So be sure to stick around and check that out. But for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made these. And you block my face so it'll focus on these guys. Oh, okay. I made these super darling little princess ornaments. So this one has Aurora and Snow White on it with a couple different pink fabrics that kind of correlated with their print, and then this one has a couple different images with Elsa and her water knock and just some purple fabric in between to kind of pull out the purple snowflakes. Here we go, we finally got to focus. So here you can see this one has Elsa. She's got some purple snowflakes around her, so I put some just purple fabric in between, and then this one has Elsa and the water knock on it. And I actually just got these fabrics at Walmart. You just pick up a fat quarter, or if you could buy by the yard, just a quarter of a yard, and that is like definitely way more than enough for this little project. And then this one, while we're zoomed in all nice, here we have Snow White, and we have Princess Aurora, and those are from the same print, and then just a couple different pink prints as well, and then they're just hung by some pearl strand that I got I think at Hobby Lobby. So super cute, super inexpensive. They're really easy to use up fabric scraps if you already have some fabric scraps laying around from past projects, and then the ball itself is just a styrofoam ball underneath. So super easy, super kid friendly. If it gets dropped or whatever, no big deal. And like I said, this was a collaboration with some other Disney YouTubers who are also bringing some Disney ornament tutorials today. So I will link all of that down below. I think there's going to be just a playlist that you guys can just sit and watch and hang out and learn how to make some pretty Disney ornaments to put on your tree this year. Anyways, they're super cute, they're super customizable. You could decorate them up with, you know, gems or rhinestones or glitter if you wanted. So without further ado, if you want to learn how I made these little Disney ornaments, stick around, let's get right on into it. For your supplies for this project, you will of course need your fabric of choice, a styrofoam ball, this just came from the floral section of the craft store, some hair ties, an X-Acto knife or a butter knife would probably work as well, and something to hang it with. I used these pearl beads, but you could also use any type of ribbon, and some plain pins. To get started, just wrap the hair ties around the ball where you're going to want your lines to be. For my first ball, I ended up using 3 hair ties to create 6 sections, but for this Elsa one, I decided to use 2 to create 4 sections. Once you're happy with your placement, go ahead and just press the elastic gently into the styrofoam. The styrofoam will easily dent, and then you'll have a nice guideline to make your cuts in a moment. To make your cuts, just move the rubber band to the side and run your knife along the line that you created. You'll want them to be skinny and deep. Be sure to take your time and be very careful with this. X-Acto knives are very sharp. In real time, I was taking this very slow and carefully. This is of course sped up for the video's sake, but you do want to be very careful with X-Acto knives. After you've made your cuts along the side, be sure to go back and get that crossing point at the top and the bottom as well. To cut my fabric, I just kind of eyed up how much I wanted and made sure to center the part that I wanted to show on the ornament. I'm sure you could be fancy and actually measure your ornament to figure out how much you actually need, but I decided to just go ahead and cut a little bit bigger than I thought I would need, and then I just trimmed the excess off later. To hold my fabric in place, I just kind of placed it down where I wanted it and felt around for the edges to make sure I had it centered correctly, and then I just used a few little pins to hold the fabric in place where I wanted it. Once I had it placed down, I was able to eye up some of the excess that could be cut off, so I went ahead and I got rid of that. Then you'll just need a long, skinny object. This is just a ruler from a sewing kit. You'll just want something that you can push the excess fabric into the cuts that you've made. You can also remove the pins that we had used to hold that fabric in place. Pushing it down into the grooves will be able to hold it in place on its own. So this is what it will look like after we've finished one of our sections, and then you'll just keep repeating that all the way around the ball. I'm not sure if it matters, but I decided to go every other section and then fill in the sections in between after, just because I wanted to make sure the pieces with the characters on them would lay as flat and as nice as possible. So this is what my ornament is looking like after I have finished all 4 of the fabric sections. Now it's just time to decorate it however you want and add a hanger to it, of course. So I decided to use this pearl beading from Hobby Lobby, and I just decided to follow along the little grooves to kind of hide those seams using some pins to help hold the pearls in place. I made sure to pull it nice and tight so it was kind of sitting inside the styrofoam grooves. And I just cut it down to size and pinned it in. If you didn't want to use pins, if you have little kids or something around, you could also just glue it too. And then of course I added another string along the other side. Since I was using these beads, they were able to just kind of cross and pop into each other. But if you were just using a ribbon or something, you could just give it a nice knot and a pretty bow as well. And then after I got those notched together, I just added a little bit of slack and then notched a couple more together a few inches up to create my hanger.
So that is it for this tutorial on these little Disney princess ornaments. Like I said earlier, check the description down below to check out all the other tutorials in this collaboration and maybe find some new channels to check out as well. Speaking of tutorials, if you want a tutorial on how I made these peppermint Mickey ears, there will be a link to that in the description below as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Bye!